Welcome to Modern Marketing Messages, the leading podcast discussing the latest and greatest in both online and offline marketing tactics, strategies, and trends. I'm your host, Taylor Karg, marketing content writer at AmericanEagle.com. Today's episode is a special one because tomorrow, January 11th, is actually National Marketing Day, so we thought we would do something a little different. We're going to interview a marketing industry veteran, our very own Rick Maxey, Marketing Director at AmericanEagle.com. So Rick, why don't we start with you telling us a little bit about what you do here at AmericanEagle.com?
Sure. I'm on the internal digital marketing team here at AmericanEagle.com, and I have a smaller team that handles email campaigns. We do email campaigns for a variety of different audiences, including customers and prospects. We also work with the sales and BDR team on outbound account-based marketing programs.
Yeah, I mean, we've worked together quite a few. As I'm the marketing content writer, we spend a fair amount of time, pitching content back and forth for these emails. So my next question, and we're going to take it back. So what is your school background? Like, what did you study? How did you get into marketing?
Yeah, I have to admit it wasn't a traditional route. I started out. I didn't plan to getting into marketing when I was younger. My focus was on business management, and I got into marketing later in my career when a friend and I started a business.
Wow.
And then I ran the marketing side of the business.
Okay, so where did you go to school?
I went to school at DePaul,
Awesome.
and I left to take a position I never finished. But shortly thereafter, a few years later, we started a business.
What was the business? Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Well, actually, in 2003, we started. My partner and I started a wedding services business, and that was when I really focused in more on marketing and learning everything I could about it. It was in the early 2000s, so it started out more being focused on event marketing and mailing campaigns, things like that. And as the 2000s went on, it evolved more and more into digital channels.
So was it just weddings or events, and then what were the size of these weddings? Can you walk me through a little bit about exactly what you were doing?
Well, we built out a business. We started out with 3 locations. It was actually in the formal wear business, men's formal wear for weddings and special events. We started out with 3 locations, and by the time we ended up selling the company a while back, we ended up with 12 locations.
Oh, wow. Wow, interesting. So can you tell me a little bit about what you did after that company and then what led you to AmericanEagle.com?
Yeah, when we were running that business, we had a pretty good 15-year run where we had, the business was successful. And during that time, we were working on a web development project with some people at AmericanEagle.com. So we were working on that project for a couple of months. During that time period, I got to know the owners a little bit and some other people within the company. And to be honest, I mean, from the very beginning when we started on the project, I was absolutely blown away by the company, the culture, and then just the technical expertise of the people at AmericanEagle.com. So a little while later after that project, we ended up selling the business, and then I joined AmericanEagle.com shortly after that. Actually, this month it's officially 3 years that I've been here.
Oh, well, happy anniversary.
Thanks.
That's awesome, though. I did not know that you had worked on a project with AmericanEagle.com employees previously at your old company.
Yep.
Are any of them still working here today?
Actually, there was, I think it's commonly spoken about here at AmericanEagle.com that, it's almost like a part of the culture that if we think we have talented people, that maybe they have talented friends and family. So it's not uncommon, for people to come in or be brought into the company when they know someone. And there was a young man that worked on the technical side of our business there that also came to American Eagle probably about a year ago.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. So when you came to AmericanEagle.com, did you start out in email marketing, your position now, or kind of what was your position when you first came, and then how did you get into email marketing and email campaigns?
Yeah, there was some, the team here just really does a lot. There's a lot of different channels and a lot of content going on. My focus when I came in was to build out more comprehensive and more targeted, segmented campaigns. We do have campaigns for customers, as I mentioned, and partners, but our business serves so many different industries, and we have a lot of success in a lot of different industries and business types. So we wanted to really expand and build out and have some more targeted and personalized campaigns. And we've been growing those over the last couple of years more and more.
Yeah, and we've, even grown the email marketing team too. We have, some people working underneath you with the BDRs. So I think, you're really doing a good job of kicking this off.
Well, when my partner and I ran our business, one of the top drivers of, for generating new leads at that time was email marketing. And it still today is one of the most effective channels, for generating connections with, potential customers out there.
Yeah, well, we're glad to have you. So what is one thing that you enjoy most about email marketing, specifically email marketing, and then we'll move on to marketing?
I would say, I guess I commonly say that email marketing as far as a tool is kind of like a microwave. It's really low cost and simple to use. At the same time, you can also, like you can with a microwave, you can get some really bad results if you're not using it properly. But really what I think the most about it is the team effort involved in it. And like it is, in a marketing team with a lot of the things that we do that, to me, I've always said it's kind of like making a movie. There's a lot of similarities there, at least. Maybe it's not like making a movie, but there are some similarities in that, there are the visual components, there's storytelling components, and then there's an audience that you're trying to make a connection with. And there's a lot of people working together, to get the best possible result from that. So that's the team element is what I really like about it. We have people contributing great visuals and great copy and story and concepts. So there's a lot of people that put a lot of time and effort into these. And whenever we're seeing great results, I think that's a testament to the whole team.
Yeah, totally. I love it. And it's definitely a team effort as, it's just with our graphic designers, copywriters, it's awesome. So let's take it back to just marketing in general. What is something that you really, really enjoy about the marketing industry? You've been in the industry for, almost 20 years now?
Yeah.
So what do you like about it?
Well, if I could say, what I like about it the most is right now. What I like about it the most right now is the company that I'm doing it for makes it pretty easy to be effective, I would say. Our company does such a great job of leading with what's best for the customer. We just have a lot of expertise in quite a broad range of different types of technologies and platforms. And I know, from a business owner's perspective, when we used to hire somebody from outside to take care of something for us, the whole goal was that they're, going to get good results and that it's one less thing for you to worry about. Yeah. A lot of people really know their business, but maybe not so much the digital or the web component and things like that. And I think that that's what's great about marketing for AmericanEagle.com is we have a great reputation. We do put the customers first, and we do help businesses grow their business. So that's we make it one less thing for them to worry about.
Yeah. Yep. So what's something that you learned about the marketing industry that has stuck with you all of these years?
I think the main thing that is really important is, and a lot of marketers need to maybe remind themselves or keep it at top of mind, is that the content that you're putting out, you're thinking about who that audience is and that it's relevant and maybe useful to that audience. You're trying to cut through the clutter, which we all say, quite a bit, which is hard to do. And I know something really gets my attention when it feels like the writer is speaking directly to me. And it even makes a stronger connection when it's something that's useful or helpful or something that I might act on that's going to, help my business. And it gives you that, it makes that connection with you as soon as you read it. It gives you that little moment of delight. A lot of our team gets maybe tired of me talking about it. You get that shot of dopamine and good feeling. And then they're going to associate that with you.
Yeah, I think we can all kind of learn from what you just said right there. It is about, especially as in-house marketers, it is about that little shot of dopamine to our customers and potential customers. So, next question, what's one aspect or concept of marketing that doesn't fail the test of time?
I think that is, similar to kind of what I just expressed, which is, leading with the needs and the pain points of the audience. I I think a lot of marketers tend to just think about what they want to say about their company and about what they do. And, I think that that's okay. But, what's also important to really make a connection is, to be digging in and finding out in this particular business or this particular industry, what is it that, they're thinking about every day on a daily basis? What are their challenges in running their business, and what are their pain points? Because those are the things that we're going to be able to help them out with. So I think that's probably the most important thing is it can't just be about you and what you want to say. It's, from the other end of it, what's going to really hit home with them and matter to them when they hear it.
Yeah, it really is all about the customer. So seeing as you're quite the experienced marketer, email marketer, was there ever a moment when you realized that marketing was, your forte? This is really what you wanted to do. Did someone say something to you, early in your career where they're like, wow, Rick, you're really good at marketing. You really understand, the message that people want to hear. Was there ever a moment like that?
I guess I would say that at first it was because of need, right? When we started the business, we needed to have, one of us do marketing. And I think that I kind of elected myself more so because of, since I was a kid, I was very interested in learning about people and what makes them tick. Mm-hmm. I read a lot of biographies when I was a kid, and I've always been really fascinated with anything related to behavioral science. Because it's not just a matter of telling people what you want to say and giving information, and then they're going to read, especially when it comes to cutting through the clutter. So I think it's that interest in what makes people tick and what, people, connect with when they hear it, and what's going to make people act or respond, and always wanting to learn more about those kind of things is what helps me keep on learning to be a better marketer.
Yeah. And that's very interesting, I think, because a lot of my background was in writing, and it wasn't necessarily, I got a business minor, so I did a lot of marketing classes, but a lot of it was writing. So hearing, just kind of like the psychology behind it just puts things into a way different perspective. And it's very interesting to think about, especially because that is what we do, every day is understanding the psychology of potential customers and our customers.
Yeah, and I think that if we're always having that kind of thought process on top of mind, and it actually strikes me when I'm watching a movie or when I'm looking at a commercial, especially, or other advertising, is, that's the other thing about, the industry too, is nobody owns, all of the ideas, and there is a lot of trial and error, obviously. Some things that are going to work you wouldn't have been able to predict, and sometimes you got to take a swing. I think it's important to kind of save a small amount of time and resources for experimentation, because you never know.
Yeah.
But yeah, really, it's about trying to connect with potential customers and what's going to make a connection with them and make them lean in and pay more attention. And not what worked a couple of months ago or a couple of years ago isn't necessarily going to work in a couple of more years. So I think it's important to always be interested in learning those things.
Yeah, just playing off of what you just said, one of my favorite things about technology and marketing and just everything that we do here at AmericanEagle.com is that what's, like what you said, what's working 2 weeks ago might not work 2 weeks in the future. Everything's always changing, and it's always a learning opportunity and an opportunity to find out new things about your customers.
Yep, absolutely.
So what are you most excited about when it comes to the future of marketing?
Well, the future of marketing. Things are changing really fast. We all hear that a lot, and we know. And they've changed a great deal just in the last few years. But I'm really looking forward to seeing what the advancements are going to be in the technology and the tools that we use. They've already come such a long way in being able to help us make things more personalized and relevant, even though we might have quite a diversity of different audiences. The technology and the tools that have become available really do make it easier to kind of segment your messaging and get it across to different people. At the same time, there's a lot of challenges with the new technologies that come out, and not every shiny new tool is necessarily going to be effective and useful. And there are so many coming out. You also have to be careful that you only have so much time and resources, and so it's about maybe trying a few things out here and there and then seeing what sticks.
Yeah. That was a great answer to a tough question. I feel, the future of marketing is very broad. So Good job. So my last question I have for you today is, what's one piece of advice that you have for young and up-and-coming marketers?
Young and up and coming. I'm so distant from those people. No, I work with quite a few of them, and I learn a lot from them. And I don't want to say something that sounds like maybe they don't already know it. But in general, I think it's about focus. I think like in a lot of things, and running a business and doing a lot of other things in marketing, especially, if you try and do everything and you try and be all things to all people, you might be producing and doing a lot of work, but not necessarily having a great impact. Mm-hmm. I think it's important to not get caught up into every new tool and every new channel and be trying to do too much. I think it's much more important to have a focus on, 3 or 4 things or 5 things that you're doing or trying to focus on that you could be really making an impact with. And try and keep it in line where you're not stretched so thin that you are doing a lot of things, but not much of it is actually having the impact that you would like.
Yeah, I totally agree. And just it's the beginning of the year, and at our monthly marketing meetings, we set very tangible goals for ourselves, and it's like, okay, we set 3 to 5 goals that we know we can accomplish. So it's just like you said, it's those smaller things that you can work towards during the year that will have a bigger impact than just working on a list of 20 things you'd like to improve in the entire year.
Yeah, and I'll have to admit, like I was the one that I learned. It took me a while to learn that lesson. Like I just would always be thinking about what I wasn't doing, and then trying to do this, and then trying to add that. And I really now kind of go more by less is more. In some ways for certain things that you got to kind of push yourself away from some of these things. It sounds great and cool, but like right now what you're doing is working pretty well. What if you can put more time and energy into making it even better? But those are constant things that you have to weigh. You're gonna move on to something else and that's another part of it is, if something isn't working and you have given it a fair try, maybe it's time to consider moving on for it, and then focus more on those, the time and resources into those things that are.
Yeah, I think everyone can kind of take that into account and apply that to their own positions.
Yep.
Well, that was all the questions I had for you today, Rick. Thank you so much for joining us. You do really great work for us, and we're happy to have you.
No, I appreciate being here. The studio looks great, and you've been doing a terrific job on these. Thank you for having me, Taylor.
Thank you.
All right.
Thank you for listening to Modern Marketing Messages. For more information about the topics discussed today, check out the description of this episode. And if you like this episode, follow this podcast wherever you listen to them to stay up to date with us. While you're at it, give us a rating and share this podcast with others. Don't forget to follow us on social media at Modern Marketing Messages. This episode is brought to you by AmericanEagle.com Studios. I'm Taylor Karg, and I'll be back with another Modern Marketing Message.